First responders are still desperately searching for survivors in Texas Hill Country, including the dozens of children missing from a girls' summer camp. The latest on those efforts is next. Plus, the North Texas community is coming together to send help to those in need. How they're handing out hope, that's also coming up. And chances for rain still linger into the work week. Kylie has a look at your forecast, and Good Day Sunday starts right now.
Good Day Sunday, here for you on Fox 4.
Welcome back. I'm TC Muzinga. Thanks for starting your morning with us here on Good Day Sunday. Local officials in Kerr County say at least 43 people have been killed by the deadly flooding. That includes 28 adults and 15 children. At least 8 others died in nearby counties. Governor Abbott is declaring today a statewide day of prayer. At this time, officials estimate dozens are still missing, including those who attended a Christian summer camp. Many of the attendees are from North Texas and did not make it out alive. Peyton Yeager has the latest on recovery efforts.
First responders spent Saturday searching for the missing, hoping to provide answers to families waiting in agony. Many in town for July 4th weekend were caught off guard by catastrophic flash flooding. More than 24 campers from the all-girls summer camp, Camp Mystic, are still unaccounted for. Saturday, some parents received the devastating news. The families of Eloise Peck and Lila Bonner confirmed to Fox 4 neither survived. Both attended Bradfield Elementary in Highland Park ISD. 9-year-old Janie Hunt of Dallas also died in the flooding, according to her family.
Look at the mattresses. The mattresses in there. Oh my goodness, and the flag. Look at the flag.
The Dallas family, the Harbors, say they're still holding out hope for 76-year-old Mike Harbor and his wife, 74-year-old Charlene Harbor. Their grandchildren, Brooke and Blair, pictured in the middle, were staying with them at their Hunt home. The family says the 2 sisters from St. Rita Catholic in Dallas didn't make it out alive. You can see search crews already came through this Kerrville neighborhood. They marked this camper clear with an X. Back behind me, we have the Compost family. They spent all day Saturday cleaning up their home. Thankfully, they got out in the nick of time, and they safely got in their truck and went to higher ground. This is video of rushing water from Juan Campos' backyard. The water eventually made it inside his home up to his thigh.
Oh, in 2 minutes, the water right here.
The cabins were smashing against the trees, and the campers were hitting the trees so hard that they were scarring them.
Lorena Guillen owns this now barren RV park in nearby Ingram. Concrete slabs show where cabins were washed away. This is where Joni and Robert Brake were staying for the holiday. Their family from Burleson says they still haven't heard from the couple. Others staying in RVs just 10 feet from the shoreline.
They tried to get to them so hard, but there was no way. There was no way. I mean, the water at that point had gone up a good 20 feet. And the lower level, all my campers right there, they were already floating away.
Peyton Yeager, Fox 4 News.
The Odessa Police Department says one of its officers is among the missing. Officer Bailey Martin and some of his family members were spending the holiday along the river. The department says it offered resources to help search efforts. You know, Kylie, I have a lot of people actually reaching out to me right now, trying to understand. And I think last hour you perfectly gave people a perspective as far as how this became so catastrophic.
Yeah, there's definitely, as far as meteorology is concerned, Ticia, there were multiple factors that allowed for that spin in the atmosphere to just sit. Couple that with an abundance of Gulf moisture and the fact that that area is fairly drought-stricken. In fact, at last check with the latest drought monitor that was released on Thursday, parts of the hill country were under that exceptional drought, which is the highest level of drought. So at that point, I mean, the Guadalupe River can't sustain that much rain in a short period of time, and that creates that rushing effect, that runoff effect. When we're talking about the fact that the river rose over 25 feet in 45 minutes, that is substantial and catastrophic. I have some rainfall totals pulled up behind behind me to show you over the last 72 hours. These are updated totals. And I mean, yes, there were several spots in the hill country that picked up 16, 17 inches of rain. But one spot that I want to focus on is just to the north and west of the Austin metro area, picking up radar estimated over 20 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. That is significant. A lot of that flooding once again turned deadly throughout the day yesterday. Burnett County hit really hard. Western parts of Williamson County, the Lake Travis area. Lake Travis rising 15 feet in 24 hours. Again, that is substantial. Now, I want to shift gears because we are still dealing with a flood threat today, mainly across western and southwestern parts of North Texas. You can see the spin on satellite and radar. This is left over that remnant area of low pressure, allowing for additional showers and thunderstorms to develop this morning, with flood advisories in effect for eastern Hood, western Johnson counties to start. Now, I want to focus on far southeast Parker County, where we've seen the development of some heavier showers. A lot of these spots to the south and west have picked up 1 to 3 inches of rain over the last couple of hours. So couple that with radar trends through the overnight, and that's why the National Weather Service went ahead and extended and expanded the current flood watch to encompass more of our North Texas viewing area. So throughout the day today, that flood threat will exist, especially for areas west of I-35 and south of I-20 that have already seen quite a bit of rain in the last 24 hours. We will eventually see showers taper off tonight, but we're not finished as far as those rain chances go throughout the work week. I'll talk more about what you can expect to see through the rest of your Sunday and time out those showers with Futurecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Kylie, thank you. More than 1,300 state and federal personnel are working alongside volunteers to find any potential survivors. They are using resources like choppers, drones, and boats. Meanwhile, North Texans have been looking for ways to help those who have been impacted. Peyton May has more.
North Texans are exchanging tearful hugs as many families are going through a parent's worst nightmare, losing a child. At Bradfield Elementary, families gathered to mourn the girls at the Christian Camp Mystic who were killed by floodwater. The vigil spread across the metro. Highland Park United Methodist welcomed people in for prayers. The church confirmed several of the campers are members of the congregation and Highland Park community. There are heavy hearts at St. Rita Catholic School, where the school confirms 2 students, Blair and Brooke Harbor, are among the girls who died. As families wait for more information about their missing children, organizations in North Texas are heading to help comfort those displaced.
So all of this stuff comes out, and we set up a field kitchen with this, plug in a smoker, and we're able to put 2,000 to 3,000 meals out a day.
Chris Huggins and the volunteer team at Operation Barbecue Relief are loading up trucks filled with thousands of meals. The Wiley-based group provides meals to first responders and victims, and they're prepared to stay in Central Texas as long as they're needed.
We already have a team on site, a local team on site that has put out 300 meals yesterday, and they're doing 1,000 meals today. They'll do another 1,000 tomorrow, and then on Monday we'll ramp up to 2,000.
Huggins knows there's nothing he could do or say to make the tragic situation any easier, but he's hoping to bring Kerrville a little relief in the best way he can.
You know, to give them a little bit of hope, to give them a little bit of comfort. We believe that barbecue can heal. We can't come out, we can't rebuild your house, but we're pitmasters, we're cooks. We can cook you a plate of barbecue and bring you a little bit of comfort, if not for 5 minutes while you sit down and have that pulled pork sandwich or that barbecue plate.
Peyton May, Fox 4 News.
Well, here's another reminder. Many people want to help those affected by these devastating floods, so you can join Fox in donating to the American Red Cross. There are other ways you can offer assistance on our website at fox4news.com and on the Fox Local app. President Trump says negotiations with China to sell TikTok will begin this week. TikTok is owned by ByteDance, a company based in China. Well, last Friday, the president said there is a deal in place to sell the social media platform's U.S. assets. No further details were released. Last month, President Trump signed an executive order to extend the deadline for TikTok to divest from its parent company. So this is now the 3rd extension. The new deadline is September 17th. Former President Joe Biden signed a law last year forcing ByteDance to sell TikTok, or the app would be banned in the U.S. All right, the Cowboys will soon open training camp. Coming up next on Good Day Sunday, we preview a Netflix special dedicated to owner Jerry Jones and his determination to restore the team's image as America's team. Plus, the Texas heat turning up as homeowners turn their thermostats down. How it could save you some money this summer.
Showers are back in the forecast today with more of a flood threat increasing for parts of North Texas. So I'll talk about your Sunday forecast and what you can expect to see throughout the work week coming up next on Good Day Sunday.
It's always paid with peaks and valleys. This is a soap opera 365 days a year.
All right, Netflix calls it America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys. This is the story of Jerry Jones and his $150 million investment back in 1989. It didn't take long for Jones's team to become a Super Bowl champion. Last year, Forbes named the Cowboys the first sports franchise to surpass $10 billion in value. But it's been more than 25 years since Dallas has won a Super Bowl. Well, despite the drought, many fans, the media, and other NFL teams are not happy the Cowboys still call themselves America's team.
You know, America's team is America's team, but that changes year in, year out. But can't change who's Pittsburgh's team.
The Commanders are America's team, and so what better place to have the NFL draft than in the mall?
It would seem, Jeffrey, that the Philadelphia Eagles are now America's team.
All right, America's Team, The Gambler and His Cowboys premieres on Netflix August 19th. All Elite Wrestling is bringing its first All-In show to North Texas Saturday afternoon. A big crowd is expected to fill Globe Life Field in Arlington. AEW co-owner and CEO Tony Khan says wrestling fans will enjoy what he calls a night filled with main event matches.
This is the best value you're ever going to get for buying a wrestling ticket. This is such a great show. There's so many huge main event matches. Everything in AEW has been building to this event all year. People have been waiting for years for AEW to bring a pay-per-view show to Texas, and we've done it in the biggest way possible.
All right, AEW's All In Texas event at Globe Life Field starts Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock.
We have a lot to talk about with our Sunday forecast, so let's get right to it. This morning, we are waking up to low clouds and that humid air once again. Temperatures only falling into the mid-70s overnight. Winds are light and out of the east and southeast. Humidity is high and will stay that way all afternoon. That being said, there's plenty of moisture for the same spin in the atmosphere to work with as far as the production of additional showers and storms are concerned, with the potential for some heavier rain at times closer to our North Texas viewing area. I have satellite and radar on loop over the last several days to show you the evolution of that spin. Now, throughout the day yesterday, a smaller scale feature associated with the larger spin developed north and west of the Austin area and then eventually tracked to the south, but still with multiple bands of heavy rain setting up across parts of Burnett County, Williamson County, even the Lake Travis area. Yeah, those floods turned deadly once again. I mean, it has just been devastating to watch over the last couple of days. Now, closer to home, that same spin has shifted a little bit closer to our North Texas viewing area. It's now located to the south and west of the immediate metroplex. So we've already started to see heavier rain bands develop through the overnight hours, now impacting western and southwestern parts of North Texas, largely Johnson County on into Western Hill and eastern Bosque. That's where a band of moderate showers have set up. And eastern and central Parker County, just to the east of the Weatherford area, right along I-20, we're looking at some heavier rain too. The National Weather Service issuing a flood advisory for eastern Hood and western Johnson County to account for the fact that we have seen a couple of inches of rainfall just in the last couple of hours. In fact, at last check, there were some parts of our southwestern counties that picked up 2 to 3 inches of rain in the last hour. So some higher rainfall rates causing that flooding concern to start this morning. Rainfall rates have come down slightly, but they will kind of ebb and flow as the morning wears on. Right now, some of the heavier showers are right along I-20 south of Weatherford and to the north and west of Granbury and Hood County, and then far western Johnson County. Once again, looking at some of those heavier showers extending from the Godley to Cleburne area, right along Highway 67. Rainfall totals over the last several days are just catastrophic. And you can see too how several spots picked up when you start to see that kind of whitish hue on our rainfall totals maps. That's showing you over a foot of rain, upwards of 15, 16 inches across parts of the hill country and north and west of the Austin metro area. Yesterday, radar indicated 20 inches of rain in the last 24 hours. Now, closer to home, we have seen anywhere from a ½ inch of rain upwards to a few inches of rain across eastern parts of Dallas County. These have been thanks to the afternoon showers that have developed, but through the morning hours, we've continued to see the higher rainfall totals concentrated across far western and southwestern parts of North Texas. So based on earlier this morning radar trends, as well as our short-range high-resolution models that have been pretty consistent with this batch of showers and storms throughout the overnight and throughout the day yesterday, the National Weather Service extending and expanding the current flood watch to now include more of our North Texas viewing area. So that flood threat will exist today. We could pick up a few inches of rain with some isolated higher totals up to a ½ foot, especially for areas south and west. Coverage, though, still only 30 to 40%, and mainly for areas to the west and southwest of the immediate metroplex. As the afternoon wears on, additional showers are expected to develop once again, similar to what we saw yesterday. So we are waking up to temperatures in the 70s. Dew points will remain high, likely in the low 70s all afternoon. We're only in the low 80s by noon. You feel that muggy air, and then highs once again will likely stay in the mid to upper 80s. Our short-range high-resolution model models, this is what I've mentioned. Over the last couple of days, they have not done a very good job, and that's pretty typical with that large-scale spin, that area of low pressure responsible for multiple rounds of flooding. But over the last several hours and several model runs, these showers and storms, as far as the evolution is concerned, have been pretty consistent. So we keep that flood threat around through the middle of the afternoon. Eventually, late day, we see shower chances taper off. But throughout the day tomorrow, the same disturbance will be nearby. And so we've upped our rain chances once again to about 20 to 30%. Coverage a little bit higher the farther south and west that you live, 30 to 40%. And then as far as the next several days are concerned, based on the positioning of this area of high pressure building across the desert southwest, yes, it's deepening across the desert southwest, but it's not encompassing more of the Lone Star State. So because of that, temperatures look to stay in the low 90s through midweek with those additional shower and thunderstorm chances. Now, by the end of the week and into next weekend, we likely start to climb a little bit more.
All right, Callie, thank you. Well, rising temperatures mean your AC could be pushing your electric bill even higher. Fox's Tom Ziska says it's a good time to think about where you set your thermostat and how to manage your electricity bill.
There is no correct temperature for everyone. You pick what's correct for you and your home, and then from there you start looking for how can I save energy based on that.
Wayne Morrison from Reliant Energy says as air conditioning accounts for about 50% of our summer electricity use, managing the temperature is where real savings come. Fans, of course, can circulate the air and give a sense of cool. Closing the shades on the sunny side of the house can limit heat buildup, and limiting the use of heat-making high-energy appliances like ovens, dryers, and dishwashers can also help. But Reliant also recommends its 4x4 rule, where you raise the thermostat at least 4 degrees if you'll be out of the home for at least 4 hours.
4 hours is easy for your home to raise a bit and not use air conditioning while you're gone, but it can come back down to the correct temperature easily if you're setting only a 4-degree difference.
And if you're away for an extended period of time, for a vacation, for example, you could raise the temperature even more for more savings. Regular maintenance like fresh filters and an annual tune-up for your air conditioner can also save money because this all adds up. Each degree that you lower the temperature of your air conditioning during the summer adds about 3% to your electricity bill. Even more when the temperatures outside get even higher. Watching your money. I'm Tom Ziska, Fox News.
Tuition tension. President Donald Trump targeting multiple states for ignoring executive orders about undocumented students. How this impacts education policies as billions of dollars hang in the balance. The Department of Justice is closely monitoring attacks on ICE facilities. It comes after an El Laredo officer is now out of the hospital and recovering at home after being shot in the neck late Saturday night. Now, we first told you here on Good Day it happened around 11 near the Prairieland Detention Center. Police say an officer attempted to engage a suspicious person with a firearm at the scene before being shot at by multiple suspects. That officer was flown to a Fort Worth area hospital. Several people were taken into custody after attempting to run from the scene. They have not been identified yet. In a statement shared on X, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says, "We are closely monitoring the attacks on DHS detention facilities in Prairieland, Texas and Portland, Oregon, and are coordinating with the USAOs and our law enforcement partners. The department has zero tolerance for assaults on federal officers or property and will bring the full weight of the law against those responsible." 32 states could lose federal funding for ignoring President Trump's executive order, barring them from offering tuition assistance to illegal immigrants. Fox's William Lajunas has more details.
Currently, there are many people who are here in our state illegally receiving public benefits.
In some states, one of those benefits is in-state college tuition. Last week, the Trump administration sued Minnesota for allowing undocumented students to pay in-state tuition, allegedly violating a '96 law that says illegal immigrants cannot receive benefits denied U.S. citizens.
Hundreds of millions of dollars in years to come will be able to be protected for Minnesota taxpayers and American citizens.
More than 500,000 undocumented students attend U.S. universities, according to the Higher Ed Immigration Portal. 2/3, some 300,000, receive taxpayer-subsidized tuition. Those in green, 23 states and D.C., offer full in-state tuition. Those in yellow offer some assistance. Others have no policy or bar undocumented students altogether. The break is huge. For example, Vermont in-state, $17,000, out-of-state, $41,000, a $24,000 difference. California, the difference, 237%. Michigan, $14,000 versus $41,000, a $26,000 difference. But advocates say the aid does not discriminate because it's based on residency, not immigration status.
The notion of paying out-of-state tuition when they've lived in states is a major barrier.
Texas and Florida already discontinued their programs.
We can't afford $45 million to give people who shouldn't even be in our country discounted education.
Collectively, subsidies are in the billions. Now, Trump has not said what federal funds he would cut off for states that refuse to change. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
The death toll still rising in Central Texas after catastrophic flooding. The latest development says the search for dozens of people, including children, continue.
Day continues at 7:30 a.m. here on Fox 4.
Welcome back. Thanks for starting your morning with us. I'm Ticia Muzinga. An urgent search still underway for survivors for more than 24 girls from a summer camp in Kerr County. The floodwaters taken many by surprise on Friday. Officials saying that death toll is now at least 51 people. 43 were killed in Kerr County, including 28 adults and 15 children. Some 8 others have died in nearby counties. Fox's Mike Tobin has more on the aftermath.
The search continues for more than 24 children who went missing from a summer camp following fierce flooding in the central Texas region.
We know that we are looking for Texans and Americans, and we put them as our top priority. We will find every one of them.
Floods tore through the Guadalupe River as several months' worth of heavy rain fell within hours. Fast-moving waters in the river rose 26 feet in just 45 minutes in the middle of the night on Friday.
Unprecedented, historic. It's like a wheelbarrow of water got dumped here. It's devastating, but we'll recover.
Search teams using boats, helicopters, and drones are looking for those who are still unaccounted for on Saturday. Friends and families of the missing are posting pictures of their loved ones on social media, making a frantic plea for any information.
We will be working around the clock 24/7 until every person is found.
In addition to the search and rescue, that's the priority right now.
The flooding took locals by surprise in Texas Hill Country, a summer hotspot for camping. Now a path of devastation is left in the area. President Donald Trump calling the floods, quote, terrible. He says his administration is working with officials on the ground.
Oh, yeah, we'll take care of it. We're working with the governor. We're working with the governor. It's a terrible thing.
In Kerrville, Texas, Mike Tobin, Fox News.
All right, let's get the latest from Kylie with more on this heartbreaking situation.
We've put together some statistics, Ticia, just to put things into perspective as far as how much rain fell in that short period of time. Remember, I've been mentioning this morning, and we talked about it yesterday morning too, but the Guadalupe River rose over 25 feet in under an hour. That's equivalent to 3 trillion gallons of water, which is the amount of water used in a year in the U.S., 1.5 million Olympic-sized pools, and a month and a half of water flow at Niagara Falls. And that area was drought stricken and has been over the last several months. So remember, anytime areas are drought stricken, they can't handle that much rain in a short period of time. I have our satellite and radar on loop over the last 36 hours to now discuss what happened in central Texas yesterday, northwest of the Austin metro area. We saw a smaller scale feature develop on radar, a smaller spin, but still enough energy and plenty of moisture for the atmosphere to work with once again devastating flooding for parts of Burnett County, western Williamson, even northwest of the Austin metro area, the Lake Travis area, picking up a substantial amount of rain in a short period of time. Now, this is radar indicated, but we've seen several reports upwards of about 20 inches of rain. That's east of Marble Falls, east of Highway 281, and west of I-35, basically west of Georgetown, again extending down in the central Texas area. That same spin in the atmosphere is now closer to our North Texas viewing area. It's basically positioned across southwestern parts of North Texas. And because of that, we've already started to see some moderate to heavy bands of rain form, with more of a flood threat increasing this morning. And we'll keep that in place throughout the afternoon. Flood advisories now in place for eastern Hood and western Johnson counties, because we've seen anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rainfall over the last couple of hours. Some heavier showers ongoing in central Parker County as well. So here's a closer look. South of Cleburne now looking at that moderate to heavy rain. The Lake Whitney area also looking at some of those heavier showers in western and northwestern Hill County. And then as far as the Metroplex is concerned, we're going to keep about 20 to 30% coverage of showers in place. Now, for areas east of I-35, as the afternoon wears on, we'll likely see additional tropical downpours develop, very similar to what we saw yesterday. But through this first part of the day and into the afternoon, closer to that area of spin, that's where the flood threat will continue to increase. There's plenty of moisture for the atmosphere to work with once again, so we're going to be monitoring that flood threat throughout the day. I'll have a closer look at your full 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
All right, Kylie, thank you. Well, despite the dozens killed during the flooding, many others were fortunate enough to escape their lives across Texas Hill Country. The devastation is now setting in for those who have lost pretty much everything, but local communities are stepping up to help. Here's more from our sister station in Austin.
Shady River RV Resort, located along Highway 29 in the San Gabriel River in Georgetown, had seen about 3 inches of rain in the previous 24 hours as of Saturday afternoon. But the big problem was just to the west, where the San Gabriel got 15 inches of rain in western Williamson County. When all the water flowed downstream, the RV park and many RVs were submerged, with tenants losing everything.
We're just now starting all over again. We lost everything, and now we lost it again.
For nearby homeowners, this wasn't their first major flood.
Because this happened last time. But this time it's rising, the water is rising, but it's not as fast as like last time. Last time only 45 minutes. This time I got more time to prepare.
And while some were luckier than others,
I had to make a 2-hour drive. I made it just in time. My RV was already about, like the tire was halfway down the... So it's crazy to see. I mean, I'm blessed and that we were able to get out, but it's heartbreaking to see people lose their livelihood.
Some residents close by were there to help whoever needed it.
It's what neighbors are for. I actually called my son, who's in his 20s, and he said, "Hey, Mama, I'll be right there. I'm bringing trailer hitches, and we're going to go make sure everybody gets to safety." And there were some crazy pet rescues out here this morning, and he's going to foster one of the pups, and we're still looking for homes for some of the pets because some of these people almost drowned because they wouldn't leave without their pets.
And he had to be rescued?
Yes, sir.
What do you say to those guys that got your puppies out?
Oh, man, can't thank them enough. It's my heartbeat right here.
Do you refuse to be defeated, or is this it?
Oh, no. I ain't going nowhere. God's got us.
We'll stay with Fox 4 as we continue to follow any developments on the flooding in Central Texas. Head over to our website at fox4news.com, the Fox local app, and our social media channels. Well, the Space Shuttle Discovery may get a new home with President Trump's mega bill now signed into law. The spending measure includes $85 million for the move to Space Center Houston by 2027. Texas lawmakers Ted Cruz and John Cornyn have pushed for the change, claiming Houston is the cornerstone of the nation's human space exploration program. Well, for more than a decade, the Space Shuttle Discovery has been housed at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum in Virginia. However, the fate of the Discovery is still not clear. Museum officials say it's part of its independent nonprofits' collections instead of government property. On a beautiful night in Southern California, the Rangers try to get back into the win column. We've got your sports highlights coming up next. Also, fans of the U.S. men's soccer team are focused on today's championship match. We preview the Gold Cup final when Good Day Sunday continues.
2-2 to Higashioka, and he gets underneath that, hits it deep out to left. That one is gone!
All right, the Rangers got the hits they need to win last night in San Diego. Kyle Higashioka drove in 5 runs in Texas' 7-4 win. After the game, the Rangers couldn't help but brag about their relief pitcher, who again protected a lead.
Yeah, he just saved us so many times, and I was trying to do all I could to stay away from our guys, and we had a struggle there, so we had to bring him in. And again, he did a good job to limit the damage.
He's kind of like the fireman for us. I think Bosch trusts him to come in the worst situations and at least get something out of it. So he's been incredible in that role, and I think whenever we see him marching in from the bullpen in those times, I think we feel really confident.
All right, the Rangers finished their series in San Diego tonight.
The area of low pressure that was responsible for the devastating flooding over the last couple of days continues to spin a little bit closer to North Texas this morning and will stay that way throughout the day today. Now, there are some heavier showers that are ongoing a little bit farther to the south, but for the most part, we've seen that smaller spin set up across far southwestern parts of our viewing area this morning. And based on the latest radar trends, starting at like 2-3 o'clock this morning, the National Weather Service went ahead and extended and expanded the current flood watch to include more of our North Texas viewing area, largely areas to the south and west. That's where we're already seeing that moderate to even pockets of some heavier showers take over this morning. So here's a closer look at radar to start. We are seeing some widely scattered showers impact central Tarrant County, central Parker County, looking at some of that moderate to heavy rain. Far western Erath County, south and west of Stephenville, looking at some pockets of heavier rain too. That area is under that flood watch. And then western Johnson County, this is the one county that hasn't been added to the current flood watch. The National Weather Service is monitoring that kind of question at this point of whether or not they go ahead and include Johnson County under that flood watch, which is currently set to expire at 7 o'clock this evening. Here's a closer look at Johnson County, eastern Hood County, and eastern Somerville County, where we are starting to see some of those heavier showers, a few heavier showers north of Highway 67, north of the Glen Rose area, and then still south and southwest of Cleburne. That's mainly to the south of Highway 67. This morning in Johnson County, we're looking at some of that heavier rain near the Lake Whitney area as well across western Hill County. So once again, these showers are very slow moving, and based on kind of the evolution of the way that these rain bands have been able to form throughout the morning, they just continue to stream on top of each other. What that's going to do is present more of a flood risk through the morning and into the first part of the afternoon, especially because a lot of these spots have already picked up a few inches of rain over the last 24 to 48 hours, and we continue to see those rainfall totals climb for southwestern parts of North Texas this morning. So coverage increases the farther south and west that you live. That'll be about 40 to 50% coverage, but for our North Texas viewing area as a whole, about 30% coverage of showers and rumbles once again continuing throughout the day today. Now, similar to what we saw yesterday, we saw those tropical showers lift from the south to the north through the afternoon. I expect a very similar setup today. That's mainly east of I-35. You see those showers stream to the north. They will have the potential for some heavy rain, but less of a flood threat than what we're looking at this morning for southwestern parts of North Texas. So 70s to start. It's warm and muggy out there. Clouds have stayed put overnight. I expect mostly cloudy skies to continue through the afternoon, and high temperatures will likely be in the mid to upper 80s once again, thanks to those clouds staying put, moisture staying high. Speaking of the dew points, there's still plenty of moisture for the atmosphere to work with, which is why those pockets of heavy rain continue to be the greatest threat, increasing that flood potential, especially for southwestern parts of North Texas throughout the day today. Our Futurecast has done a pretty good job over the last several hours handling, again, the current spin across the south and west, responsible for additional showers and thunderstorms. I do think that by the time we head towards sunset, most of this activity will taper off. But throughout the day tomorrow, with a nearby disturbance again, we keep 20 to 30% coverage in place of showers and rumbles. So 30 to 40% coverage, depending on how far south and west that you live. That weather pattern looks to stay fairly active in the next couple of days. We cannot dry it out completely. And on your forewarned 7-day forecast, with those shower chances lingering through midweek, we've dropped our high temperatures back into the low and mid-90s, a little below normal tomorrow, and that trend continues through midweek before the heat returns by the end of the week.
All right, the Gold Cup Men's Championship match is today on Fox 4, and the two countries most soccer fans wanted to see, the United States and Mexico. They're going to battle it out in Houston. Our neighbors to the south have taken the Gold Cup home 9 times. The last time they earned it in 2023. The U.S. has won 7 Gold Cups, so it's been 4 years since they've brought it home. This will be the last major competition for both teams before the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
We've proved that we can play against some bigger opponents. I think we've proved that we can surprise people. But in the end of the day, the goal is to win. The goal is to be number one.
It's a trophy to fight for, and I think everyone's ready for it. And yeah, I said it before, if you want to win this tournament, you have to win against anyone.
The U.S. men's soccer team battles Mexico for the Gold Cup this afternoon in Houston. Coverage starts at 5 o'clock here on Fox 4. We're talking about my girl here. That's Beyonce, Queen Bee. Yeah, isn't the only stuff that's been through training at a Houston studio, by the way. Why her teacher says she doesn't use them to advertise her work. The message she has for the young children she teaches today. All right, welcome back on the Sunday morning. Right now it's 75 degrees out there, almost 10 minutes to 8 o'clock at the hour. All right, well, Beyonce performed in Houston earlier this week before going on to perform at the nation's capital on the 4th of July. And her first childhood dance teacher was in attendance. Well, she sat down with Fox's Delon Dillard ahead of the Cowboy Carter tour stops and tells him she's never missed a show thanks to the family's generosity.
We were preparing for something. You know, and I stopped and I said, Beyonce? She said, yes. And she looked up at me, sit on the floor. I said, the world's gonna know your name.
Meet Darlette Johnson Bailey. She was one of Beyonce's first dance teachers and recognized her potential for greatness at a young age.
You just never know who you're teaching. Because when this child came to my class with pigtails on, you just never dream, you know, wow. One day in the studio, she began to sing. She wouldn't sing around anybody else. And she sung, and she automatically stopped. It was this phenomenal voice coming out of this child. She couldn't have been no more than maybe 6 or 7. This voice is nothing that you can just obtain at that young age. That is really a God-given gift. Because there's no way at 6 or 7 years old this baby could sing like that. And I wish back then, what I knew now, it was so much footage of her just singing I don't have or didn't take, her just singing and performing.
And now their bond goes beyond singing and dancing. She's become part of the family.
Thing about it, because she can be herself around me. You know, there's no screaming and yelling and somebody's fainting, falling out. You know, it's just that it's hugs and, you know, we sit back and eat and chit-chat and talk, and just old times. It's just like family. And, you know, and that many people you could be around, but you can just be yourself. You know, she'll take her shoes off, you know, and the kids are just there. I mean, I'm just thankful for that. You know, I'm very loyal.
Darlette says she's even got to witness many great moments in person, including the historic moment when Beyonce won Album of the Year at the Grammys for the first time and became the first black woman to do so.
The Grammy goes to Cowboy Carter.
I can't put it into words. You know, I don't want to get emotional, but, you know, to see a baby that started with you win all those Grammys and Album of the Year, I mean, many dance teachers cannot say that, and I'm small. You know, I'm very small, so you got big companies with hundreds of dancers and staff members. They can't say that.
Her bond extends to the entire family.
Shout out to Miss Darlette.
And Mama Tina even wrote an entire chapter about Darlette in her book.
Me and Tina, we're really friends. Beyonce's my baby, but Tina's my friend. Because Beyonce still say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, but Tina's my friend. I was really surprised and so honored that she did a whole chapter on me. And to know that you really mean something, that you'll go down in history. That's the highest accolade that you can get, that someone's thought enough to do a chapter on you. And she signed my book. You know, I came for the book signing. Oh, the words she wrote in my book, just every time I read it, I cry.
And now she's using dance to bring out greatness in today's youth, and not just with entertainment.
Show them how to do it, girl. Girls are impressionable, so you have to be really careful, because I don't want to send a false hope, like, you know, you can become Beyonce. Beyonce worked very hard for many years to get where she is, and she earned it. You know, those are tears years, you know, so I want them to concentrate on how uniquely God has made you to be. And you are fearfully, wonderfully made. You uniquely is only one of you. So be the best that you can be. So this is why I don't have a bunch of pictures and things of that nature, because I need them to really focus on and get in their head, I'm going to be the best I can.
Love that. Okay, well, the excitement of the American Ninja Warrior comes to Dallas this week. A look at the new course coming up. All right, let's take a look at what's happening this week. What's being called the world's largest ninja obstacle event is coming to Dallas. The fun of Ninja Warrior comes to Dallas Market Hall on Thursday. Preliminary competitions continue through Friday. The finals are Saturday, and some of the top athletes in the world are scheduled to compete. Now, you've seen many of them actually on the TV show American Ninja Warriors. Spectator tickets start at $35 a day. And if you're a fan of game shows, the Game Show Studio in Fort Worth is just what you've been looking for. The ribbon cutting is Friday morning. The Game Show Studio is on 7th Street, northwest of downtown Fort Worth. This new experience brings the excitement of classic game shows to life. It's a one-of-a-kind interactive attraction that's perfect for the whole family to enjoy. And if you have dreams of becoming a superstar, come on out to the Mark Cuban Heroes Basketball Center on Saturday morning, July 12th. This is the second edition of the center's Model and Talent Call. So if your dream is to become an actor, dancer, model, or singer, and you're at least 16 years old, just head to check-ins on Saturday morning at 9:45. Auditions are from 10:30 until 12:30. This program has helped jumpstart the modeling and entertainment careers of several North Texans. Pretty cool. All righty.
All right, let's take another look at your forewarned 7-day forecast. Keep an eye on radar today, especially if you live across western and southwestern parts of North Texas, where a flood threat will exist through the majority of the afternoon as the heaviest rain bands are set up.